has to be against this furious assault from the champion Hopkins. You're looking into the corner of the champion Bernard Hopkins.
Look at the baby. The thing's fine. The thing's fine. He shortened his shot up a little bit inside. Give a little ankle.
Back into that action in round 5.
All out assault by Bernard Hopkins, Tim. There's that right hand, left hook. Right hand, another left hook, uppercut, left hook, right hand, left hook. What conditioning on this Hopkins. He's sitting down in the corner now, Tim. Fresh as a daisy. Seems that way anyhow.
Well, and for Johnson's part, excellent condition as well, or he'd be on the canvas by now.
I think just about anybody else would be. He must take a tremendous punch, and again, he's in excellent condition.
Through 5, the champion has had his way against the unbeaten challenger, Glen Johnson. There's Bernard Hopkins.
Johnson slow leaving the corner.
Into round number 6. Hopkins, perhaps with a lot to prove here. National television exposure, still angry at his former promoter, Butch Lewis, and winning a contract dispute, or at least the ability to get out of his existing contract with Butch Lewis. Got out of it last May. Now with new management, new promotion. Others always like to prove to the guys that are gone that they made a mistake.
That's it. Just go.
Johnson is starting to let that right hand go now, Tim. And again, if Bernard Hopkins gets a little too confident, he could walk right into one. And this is what they said in the corner, let him walk into it. There's that dangerous uppercut again by Hopkins.
You mean it's dangerous both ways. It can do damage, but it leaves him open. Huh?
Absolutely. I'll never forget when Buster Douglas fought against the Van Holy. Got knocked cold.
There you go. Do it. Put it together. Double up on your step, Glen. Work your step. Work your foot. That's it. Straighten it out. Straighten it out. Bring the hook.
Now Bernard's mouth is starting to open up a little bit, because he did spend an awful lot of energy. Tremendous amount of energy.
He set a tremendous pace right from the opening bell. He came out as though he wanted to take Johnson out of the right of way. And he has kept trying through 5. We're in round 6.
There's a good left hook thrown by Johnson. Not landed, but he threw it with bad intentions.
Johnson looking to do some damage here and suddenly stop Hopkins in his tracks. We're under a minute to go in the 6th. Johnson has been unable to do that so far.
Again, Johnson took a chance with that right hand, trying to throw it over the jab.
Step punching. Watch your head. Step out. There we go.
All right, let's set him up. Set him up. Stop that jab. There you go. There's the hook. Where's the jab? The body hook.
Hopkins a knockout.
Good right hand again by Hopkins, right on the chin.
He's a knockout puncher. He has 24 KOs in his 31 victories. But so far, even though he's dominated this fight, hasn't been able to make the stoppage against Glen Johnson. May wind up getting a little frustrated as this fight continues. Final seconds of round 6. We're at the Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, California for the IBF Middleweight Championship. Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy watching Bernard Hopkins in gold, the champion, against Glen Johnson. We've given every round to the champion Hopkins, but 2 well-conditioned boxers. Johnson has taken a lot of punishment and is still standing there, trying to turn this fight around somehow, but Hopkins has not let up on his pace. He has been forcing the issue right from the opening bell.
Last round, though, Tim, was the first time that Hopkins showed signs of being a little weary, because again now he's fighting with his mouth wide open.
Backing up into a defensive position rather than forcing the issue. So let's see what happens here. Now we're into the 7th. Whether Johnson, who is obviously also in great shape, can somehow turn this around. He takes a right hand. That got his attention. Hopkins. Johnson missing, and Hopkins, sensing he hurt Johnson, comes back with an inside combination.
Nice short punches on the inside by Hopkins.
resting a little bit more flat-footed here in the 7th. And Johnson stepped it up somehow.
Look over here. Get it tight.
That's Johnson who elects to clinch.
There you go. That's good. Pressure, Glen.
Again, Hopkins changing his style here. He's definitely resting some. Flat-footed, letting Johnson come to him and looking to counter. This is completely different than what he's done through the first 6 rounds. And as you point out, Gil, it may be that he is finally starting to be a little weary after the pace he's set.
Don't reach. Come on.
Yep. Glen, come on now. Make it work.
Johnson jumping in with a right hand just grazed the chin of Hopkins. No damage. A minute to go in the 7th.
And Johnson now, his right eye is starting to close, Tim.
A little swelling around that right eye. And a low blow there. The referee didn't see it, but it was definitely a low blow. And you can see even Johnson knows he didn't mean to land it there, but he did. And so there'll be a time given here to Hopkins. He can have up to 5 minutes if he chooses to take it. Pat Russell, even though he didn't see the low blow, has acknowledged that it was one.
Johnson tried to apologize to Hopkins while he was on the floor, tapped him on the back.
So Hopkins taking the time to get himself back together, and now he tells Pat Russell that he can go. And there's the low blow. You can see Johnson was just, his head was down. He had no idea where that punch was going. It was on the target below the belt.
And you have to give Hopkins credit. He could have taken a lot more time. Just got hit with the right hand, Hopkins did.
Now that's Hopkins back alive as he forces the issue again. And Johnson does the grabbing once more. He's just been unable to get any kind of consistent offense going. To keep Hopkins off him. Just can't do it. So that's the end of round number 7.